Hello, everyone. You're in the office with Joseph Skoda, G.I. Joe Skoda from Pismo Beach area in California. I love it up here, and I've been talking to inspiring people over the years and doing some interviews. And many of you know I'm a retired veteran and have a lot going on in my life now is more than ever. It's pretty crazy how different things happen in our journey of life, and sometimes we have to take a detour, usually away from what we planned for our own lives. And that gets me talking with our guest today, Chelsea Keenan, who I've known her family, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 years now. And it's amazing. I met you and your mom, I believe it was a church play. I think that's where I got started, and I got tricked into being in that play. I didn't want to be in the play.
I
I
got tricked
cannot
too.
act, I cannot sing, let alone dance. And somehow is I don't know, I got the lead. I got the lead. But sometimes it's those challenges when someone believes in us, we're forced to step up to the plate and do some miraculous things. Now, I want to talk to you, Chelsea. Now, you've had a challenging childhood. I know you're an adult now, but you've had a challenging childhood. And and just last week, you were asked to speak at a Yale symposium about stroke survivors. Let us know a little bit about what's affected you through the stroke, when it started, and some of the challenges you had to face.
So I had my first stroke at 18. Um, do you hear that?
It sounds good to me.
Okay, there's a garbage truck. Sorry. So I had my first stroke at 18, and I lost the use of my right side, and I wasn't able to speak right, and I lost my eyesight. So I was running into everything when I was walking and stuff. And so that took me a while to recover. I was in the hospital for like 3 or 4 months. And then I had my second stroke, and that took away my memory. So it was super, super difficult. And then I had a third stroke, and that one was just a few months ago. So I still don't have the use of my right side too much. I can walk for like an hour. That's about it. And my memory is doing a little bit better, but I'm doing a lot of physical therapy and speech therapy to try and kind of compensate for where I've lost, if that makes sense.
Sure, makes a lot of sense. That's a good point. If you did not receive regular therapy, do you think you'd be as strong as you are right now?
No, and that's been super difficult too because I know my first couple of strokes, my first two strokes, I did therapy every day, all day, and that got me back to normal super, super fast. But with this one, because of the whole COVID and quarantine thing, I'm not able to go to physical therapy, so I have to do it at home. And I am not one to exercise, let me tell you. I need somebody to tell me to do it and to watch me, or I'm not going to do it. So
I do.
my recovery's taken a lot longer just by being home.
Well, you're one of the fortunate ones. I don't know if fortunate's the correct term, but you have a loving, supportive family who has some of their own challenges. How does that affect the family integrity when everyone's dealing with something different?
It's really difficult because I mean I felt like I didn't want my brother and my sister to even know, because I didn't want them, because my brother was living in Hawaii, my sister was working and stuff, and I didn't want them to feel like they had to be here for me, or and like stop their lives and stuff. Um, my mom told him anyways. So my brother moved out from Hawaii, my sister, and she hangs out with me a lot more. It's been really, really nice, and it's been a support that I didn't think that I would need. But I know there's some days when I'm not feeling good and I don't see my brother or sister because I'm locked in my room, or like my mom even, and I kind of miss them. And I think when I see them, they're like, let's even though you can't do anything, I'm gonna sit and watch TV with you or something. And it makes it better. I'm not as sad, I guess, when I'm upset
Sure.
or when I'm sick.
So. Do you get out of the house very often at all?
Not really.
No.
I no, even before the quarantine, because I can't really. I mean, I don't have much stamina, you know. So I'll go to the beach and just sit down for a little while. But even then, I'm so tired afterwards that I have to go home and take a nap.
So do some of us who are a little bit older up there in years.
We have a lot in common.
Yeah, I think we do. I think we do.
I
It's
told
always
my
good.
mom I was like a 75-year-old in a 23-year-old's body.
Ouch. Not that old. Not that old. Me and your mom have a long way to go to get there. So,
Well,
oh, what do you, I don't know, attribute to much of your success or understanding or support that's got you strong? I mean, we're talking today after all you've been through. What's some of these strengths that you can rely on or made a difference?
I think if I didn't have the support of my family, especially my mom, I wouldn't have gotten through. I mean, this last stroke, I wanted to just stop all doctors, all everything. And I was like, if I die, I die. And I know that's not like the best outlook, but that was because I didn't want to, it's like a cycle, you know, and I don't like the cycle. So I think it was having her support and then my faith. If I didn't have a faith, then I don't think I would be here at all. Like my faith in God. Yeah. I feel like he's really changed my mindset to kind of be like, you can do this, you can get through it, you know? And I'm trusting in him a lot. So it's been nice because I was praying a good couple of weeks ago because I don't like taking all the medicine that I'm taking.
Sure.
And so I was praying. I was like, you know, I just need it to get a little less because I was taking like 15 pills in the morning and at night, and I
Oh,
was like, I can't do this anymore. And so we prayed about it. My mom prayed about it, and the doctors found a medication that kind of substitutes for everything. So now I'm only taking 3 in the morning and 3 at night. So it's been so nice.
that's huge. That's
Yeah,
huge.
it's a big improvement. I'm super excited about it.
Wow. And that brings up a good point. Sometimes it's the smallest things that really make a difference, whether it's
Yeah.
from 15 to 3 pills or whatever it is, or just waking up when you want to and having people appreciate when you're ready to come out and
Yeah,
see the world.
even with recovery too, I think it's the small improvements that make everything great. Because I mean, I remembered to brush my hair this morning. I was so excited because I would have come on Zoom without my hairbrush.
I want to see that. We want to see the
No,
real
you
you.
don't. So it's those little moments that I celebrate a lot, and it makes life nice. You know, I throw little parties at home because
Yeah.
I can't go out. So like we had an Oscar party. I put down a red blanket for a red carpet, and
Yeah.
I made everybody participate in karaoke and award ceremonies and stuff like that. So I think it really is just looking for the little things and making a positive out of it.
Wow. Have you ever had days where you just didn't want to get out of bed, or those times you just didn't want to face anyone? Tell us a little bit about some of those times.
Yesterday, I was feeling really, really sick, and I was like, oh no, I was so scared because I thought I was having another stroke. Because it's hard to tell for me because some of the symptoms are what I'm experiencing. Like I still get weakness in my right side when I'm super, super tired or when I don't feel good. So it's hard to kind of tell. And so I get scared a lot when I'm fine, you know, and it's just my body failing for the day. And so yesterday I was like, I don't even want to get out of bed because what if I get up and then something happens, or what if I get too excited and then something happens, you know? And it's so scary. It's really scary, especially when you've had a stroke before and you know how bad it can mess with you to have it again. I think that's the scariest part for me. Yeah, so those days are really, really difficult. And I think it's just a lot of prayer and a lot of support from family and friends and reaching out to people, because most people don't really know how you're feeling unless you tell them, you know? And I don't like telling people how I'm feeling, especially people my age, because I don't think they quite understand. Um, because you don't have a stroke when you're 18 or 20, you know? It just doesn't happen. And so your friend group there's not really much understanding.
That's got to be really challenging. So, what would someone look for, or if I mean you've had it at a young age? How would someone know if they're going through that, or potentially having a stroke of their own? We always hear about mini strokes and those things. We don't know if it's real or not, almost like a heart attack. So,
Yeah.
what are some of those symptoms that we should be looking out for?
You're right. The one side of your face gets kind of numb and droops a little bit. One side of your body may be tingly or weak, like you won't be able to pick something up. When you speak, sometimes it's going to come out really weird. I used to mix up my S's and my N's somehow. And so when I talked, it just made no sense. And then sometimes like you're thinking that you want to say something and then it just doesn't come out, if that makes sense. So I think those are the symptoms to look for. It's better if you just go to the hospital instead of guessing, at most points. But I have noticed that since I'm so young, when I go to the hospital and I say, look, I think I'm having a stroke, they don't really pay much attention to it. So you got to just stick it out, because they made me wait for a long time one time. And I was like, and that was that time I was actually having a stroke. And it was bad.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Now we're going to digress or change path here a little bit, because I don't remember when, 3-4 years ago, and I was in the studio and you're doing a music video and you're singing and you're dancing. You had your backup singers and dancers. You packed the house, and it was really exciting to see you up there. You might have been 16 at the time. I don't even know your age then, but you had a lot going on. You always had the rhythm, always had something, and I know it's always up in here. But what I do know now is you were able to, and I know you've had some challenges where you start, stop, but I know you're on the path to doing this again. Tell us a little bit about that journey and what are some of the projects you're working on today.
Oh, it was a wild ride. No, before I had my first stroke, it was really cool because I was getting ready to go on tour, and I was headlining and stuff. So that was super exciting. And then when I had my strokes, I had to take a break, mostly because I didn't remember any of it. And so it was so weird. My mom would tell me all these things, and finally we just had to stop talking about it until my memory came back. So I remember a little bit of it, and it's so cool because I love singing. I love anything music, and I think it's because growing up, my dad, he would sing all the time, and it would just get to the point where it would be annoying, and you just be like, stop. But now I'm him, and I sing 24/7, and I just can't stop. So I think now I need to do something creative, and I want to do something, and I want to be able to express myself and express how I'm feeling. And so I'm working on an album right now. It's basically my diary, and I just put it into songs. So it's going to be really, really, really cool. I'm excited about it because it kind of tells my journey, and I think that people are going to be able to relate whether you've had a stroke or not. I mean, it's just about going through hard times and having that faith and getting through it. So I have an album coming out. I'm doing a concert on Friday. So it's going to be like a little pay-per-view concert, hang out with me, like a quarantine party. I'm really excited about it. And then I'm releasing my new single on the 7th of June. So a lot's happening.
Nice. What's the title of the new single coming out?
The new single is called Memory Lane.
Ooh.
Yeah, I love it's one of my favorite songs. I think it's just about how I lost my memory and how I went back looking for it, and I went looking for who I was before the stroke. Because when you've had a stroke and when you recover, I'm a whole different person. I'm not the same person I was before. I think it's made me stronger, and it's in some ways, but it's changed me a lot, and I don't even know how to explain it, but I feel different, if that makes sense. And so that's what the whole song's about. It's about me trying to find out who I was and realizing that I'm not the same person, and I will never be, but as long as I have God, like, it doesn't matter, you know.
It doesn't matter. We have God in there. How are your brother and sister supportive? Or I know they kind of have their own career paths, but you all intermingle, and obviously you're probably each other's all best friends. How has that support system helped you, or maybe deterred you?
Oh my gosh. Well, when I had my second stroke, I think my brother was in Hawaii, and I missed him so much. It was so hard to recover just because I was missing him too, you know. But
Sure.
he would call me all the time, every day. Even now, when I'm not feeling good, we get online and we play Fortnite for hours. We were up the other night till 2 in the morning just playing Fortnite, and it's been so nice because I'm not thinking about, oh, I don't feel good, or oh, this is happening, I have doctors tomorrow, all that stuff.
Sure.
I'm just hanging out with him and talking, and he lets me talk about how I feel, and he listens, you know. And it's been really, really nice. And my sister, she's really supportive too, and I can't go to the studio necessarily,
Hmm.
so she helps me record at home most of my songs. So we recorded my whole album here, and it sounds great. I'm really, really excited about it. But it's been a nice bonding time with her because I
Sure.
get to hang out with her, and we're doing something that we both love and stuff like that. So it's been really, really nice. I'm really lucky to have them in my family. I don't know what I'd do without them, honestly.
Obviously, it's
Yeah.
really important to have a supporting and loving family. Now I know your mom had a mini stroke about a year ago or something like that, and obviously, maybe I don't know if it's true or not. The transition went to taking care of her rather than yourself. How did that feel?
Oh, that was so difficult. I think it was hard for me because I knew what it felt like to go through the stroke. So I wanted to take care of her as much as I could. I mean, I wasn't really up to it most of the time, so my sister was the main one taking care of her. But I, but I wanted to be there for her as much as possible because I know how hard it is to go through something like that. And my heart just broke when she said that, when I got the call saying that it happened. But I think it made us closer because now we both know what we're going through, what we're each going through, and we're able to explain it, and we're able to. I don't even have to explain it. She can look at my face. She said, "I know what you're feeling. Go to bed." So
I
it's really
believe you.
nice.
I believe you. Now I remember, and I don't know if you still do or not. I know you had some horses up in the area I live in right now, and you used to spend some time up there. When's the last time you were able to do that?
The last time I was up there was about a year ago.
Okay.
I I went back to AG,
Hmm.
and I stayed with some family friends, and I trained horses for the longest time. It was kind of like a therapy for
Sure.
me because I was a little bit stronger. I was able to walk and stuff because this was before my last stroke, and but I still didn't have my memory, and so the last thing I remembered was living in AG with the horses, and so my mom was like, maybe you should go back out there, hang out with your old friends, stay with some family friends, and just see like if that will help you feel better. And it did. It made me feel like I was able to choose when I wanted to move back to LA to some extent because I moved back because of my stroke. but but I remembered moving
Choices.
back. So it made it a lot easier. It was so nice up there though. I love it. I love being with the horses and
Sure.
being with my friends and hanging out. So hopefully when this whole quarantine thing's over, I can go back and visit
Well, that would be
soon.
great. That would be great. Hey, you mentioned about some of your friends. Have you lost any friends over the years because of this?
Yeah, I have because I think it takes a toll on everybody and not just me.
Sure.
I recently lost a friend because after my third stroke, he was like, this is too much. I feel like I'm losing because I am different after every stroke, and
Sure.
he's like, I feel like I'm losing a person each time. So it was devastating to me. It just happened like a week ago. I'm still crying about it because I don't have many best friends. You know, I have maybe 2 or 3, and so it was really difficult. But I understand how it's hard for everybody, not just the one going through the stroke. I think everybody, your family, your friends, everybody's going through it with you. So everybody copes a little differently. So I understand. It's difficult.
Yeah, it does affect everyone, even if we have the cold. And I don't want to bring up something, but I know you lost an aunt recently, and that's obviously something else we all have to deal with. Were you close with her?
Yeah, I'm not really close with my mom's side of the family,
Okay.
but she was the one aunt that I knew. I grew up with her. She moved to AG with us, and we lived on the same property. I saw her every day. She got me addicted to Coca-Cola.
No, no.
Yes.
That's right.
So now when I have a Coke, I don't feel as bad. I feel like we're having a Coke together. So yeah, it's been really, really hard. It's been hard for my whole family because she was the one aunt that we were closest to.
Sure.
And so the fact that she had to pass away, especially in this time, was really, really tough because we can't really say goodbye. Like we couldn't see, like we could have like a what is the word? Proper.
A proper burial?
Proper, yeah.
Or funeral, or
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
And we couldn't go visit her in the hospital or anything. So it was extra hard.
Yeah, those are challenging times, and now we, thankfully, we can reach out like this, and like you said, at 1, 2 in the morning, playing games with your brother or anywhere else. And I know you have friends on the other coast too, and all over California, and that's pretty fortunate. Any bits of advice for those who potentially are lost or losing those friends? Any advice or recommendations you have to give?
Oh man, I don't know.
That's a good one.
I'm still going.
No one knows.
Yeah, that's the hardest part, because I mean, I'm still having a really, really difficult time. I think the only thing really getting me through it is I mean, I pray all the time. I talk to God. I have a really close relationship with him, and that's been like my number one support. That, and like when I feel lonely or when I'm missing my friends or my aunt, I reach out to my brother and my sister and my mom, and we talk. So I think at those times that I feel lonely, it's nice to have other people there to kind of make you feel less lonely. It doesn't make it as difficult. I mean, yesterday I was so sad and I didn't want to talk or anything, but we still hung out, and they were like, don't go in your room, just hang out with us. And we sat and we ate in silence. And it was actually really nice. I didn't know how much I needed it until I went to bed that night, and I was like, tonight would have been way worse if I didn't have had them. If I haven't had. Ugh, my words are so tongue-tied.
Your words are just fine. Your words are just fine. Now, how do we find your album, your concert going on this weekend? How do people find you and search for you and find out what you're involved in?
Okay. my music is on all the streaming networks: Apple, iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio. So you just type in Chelsea Keenan. I should pop up. Hopefully, or else I'm doing something wrong. My Instagram and my Instagram has most of the information. So it's I am Chelsea K, and then my website is thechelseak.com, and you can find everything there.
Well, that's nice. That's nice. So everyone out there, definitely tune into Chelsea K. Even if you don't make the concert this week, she has so much information out there, not just on her music, but her life. So definitely reach out and let her know what you're feeling and what you're thinking, or ask her for your own advice. And that's what's interesting about you, Chelsea, is even at a young age, you have so much wisdom and guidance for others who are struggling. And they don't have to be younger people, even elder people. I don't know, older. I don't know the word to say there either. But you have something to give back to anyone because you have a story. And every one of us has a story, and you're not afraid to tell it. Some people takes years, sometimes decades before they come out and tell it. And I know your faith in God has helped you, but I deeply appreciate your story. And I don't know what you're going through, and I don't know that, and I don't know if you're happy you're going through all that, but you're coming out ahead of the game right now, and that's really exciting because a lot of us would just lock ourselves up for, like I said, years before we can be honest with what's really going on. So I appreciate you for being honest. Are there any other last minute tidbits that you want to get in our mind to figure out what's going on?
Well, I appreciate you having me on here and letting me talk about it. But, I didn't want to talk about my story or tell any of it for a while. I was really kind of embarrassed for the first couple of years. I was like, I don't want to be too different. I don't want people to know that I'm struggling. And I think talking about it has been therapy for me, but I think it's also been therapy for other people. I think my one takeaway would be not to be ashamed about who you are, and that the results of the stroke, like the side effects, not having full strength on one side of your body. I feel like that's kind of like a battle scar, And every time that I have those moments, I try to remind myself, like, this is what you've gone through. And I don't know how to explain it. It's kind of like a reminder that I've gone through so much, And I think it just shows how strong we are in general. So I think that that's something to remember, to keep in mind, not to be ashamed of it. And it is a story that other people need to hear. And I get so many messages and so many comments. I try to reply to them all, but most of them are about people who have gone through strokes. And this one lady was saying how she didn't want to go outside anymore because she was like concerned that she couldn't walk correctly, and she didn't know if she'd ever fall in love again and stuff like that. And I've had those exact worries. So I think that it's nice that we're talking to each other about this. So if you ever have those concerns, or you're ever like, I don't think I should share, I think you need to share, because there's people that need to hear it.
That's really good advice. In some ways, you're a voice for those who aren't able to talk right now, and for whatever reason, physically, mentally, emotionally. So you're that voice, and getting people to reach out to you, giving them confidence to talk about what's happening in their lives. So I really appreciate you coming on the show and telling us your story. And everyone, look for Chelsea Keenan. Chelsea Keenan, she has the goods, and reach out to her. I know your family. So anyways, definitely reach out to her and share your own story, because this is just one of lots of platforms for all of us to share what's going on, the good, the bad, the ugly, the indifferent, whatever it is. But I do appreciate you, Chelsea, and you're going to have a good life. We'll be looking out for you.
You do.
Thanks a lot again, Chelsea. We'll talk to you soon. So Joseph Skoda, over and out.